Merhaba. In this video, I'm going to talk about the Turkish language, or as it's known in Turkish, Türkçe. I'm going to give a fairly basic overview of the language with a particular focus on two features that I think are especially interesting, namely agglutination and vowel harmony. Turkish is of course spoken in Turkey, where it is the official language. It is also one of two official languages in Cyprus, and in the disputed territory of northern Cyprus, it is the sole official language. It is also a recognized minority language in Bosnia and Herzegovina, Greece, Iraq, Kosovo, North Macedonia, and Romania. Turkish is not related to the Indo-European language family, although Turkey is partly located in Europe. It is also not related to Arabic, although Turkey is a predominantly Muslim country. It does have a relatively high number of loanwords from Arabic because of this. However, its grammar and syntax are completely different. Turkish belongs to the Turkic language family, which is spoken throughout Central Asia. It specifically belongs to the southwestern or Oghuz branch of Turkic languages. Other languages in the Oghuz branch include Azerbaijani and Turkmen, and other Turkic languages from other branches include Uzbek, Kazakh, and Kyrgyz. Turkish is particularly closely related to Azerbaijani, with the two languages sharing a high degree of mutual intelligibility, and Azerbaijani is sometimes referred to as Azeri Turkish for this reason. Turkish has around 75 million native speakers, plus an additional 15 million people who speak it as a second language, for a total of approximately 90 million speakers. This makes it the most spoken Turkic language by far, and the 17th most spoken language in the world. Turkish has an average-sized consonant inventory with 20 consonants, and a relatively large vowel inventory with 8 vowels. Turkish is written using a variant of the Latin alphabet. It lacks the letters Q, W, and X, but has several new letters added, bringing it to a total of 29 letters. With one exception, Turkish is written phonemically. All words are spelled as they are pronounced. The consonants of Turkish are generally pretty easy for English speakers. Almost all of them have direct equivalents in English, although sometimes they may be written with different letters than you would expect. The one exception to Turkish being written phonemically is the so-called soft G, or yumuşak G. This is the letter G with a brev. Originally, it represented a voiced guttural fricative, something like r. However, due to sound changes, it is now usually silent, as in arch. Often, it lengthens the previous vowel, as in da. The 8 vowels are a little more difficult. 4 of them are fairly straightforward. The letters A, E, O, and U represent the sounds A, E, O, U. But the letter I is used in a rather unusual way. In most languages that use the Latin alphabet, the letter I has a dot when it is lowercase and no dot when it is uppercase. In Turkish, however, dotted I and dotless I are two distinct letters representing different sounds. The dotted I has a dot in both the uppercase and lowercase, while the dotless I does not have a dot in either case. Dotted I represents the sound E. Dotless I represents a sound that we don't have in English, a high back unrounded vowel. It's made by placing your tongue as if you're saying oo, but with your lips unrounded as if saying e. The result should be something like Finally, there are the two front rounded vowels, written O umlaut and U umlaut. These sounds are pronounced by placing your tongue as if to say or e, respectively, but with lips rounded as if saying oo. They should sound something like and ü. The 8 vowels of Turkish fit neatly into a little table like this. We'll come back to this table a bit later in the video. Turkish grammar is quite different from the grammar of European languages, which makes it somewhat more difficult to learn if European languages are the only languages you have experience with. However, it is also very regular. Generally, if you learn a grammatical rule, there will be no exceptions to that rule. This does serve to counteract some of the difficulty. Basic word order in Turkish is subject, object, verb. So if we take a simple sentence like, I am drinking tea, in Turkish it becomes ben çay içiyorum, literally, I am drinking. The verb içiyorum can be broken down into 3 components. Ich is the root of the verb, meaning drink. İyor marks the present tense, and marks the first person singular, or I. Because the suffix of the verb already indicates the subject of the sentence, the pronoun here is not necessary and may be dropped without changing the meaning. So you can say simply çay içiyorum. Turkish has an indefinite article, bir, but no definite article. Definiteness may be marked on the direct object of a sentence only by using the accusative case. So we can change the previous sentence to çay içiyorum to mean I am drinking the tea. The accusative marker indicates that I'm talking about specific tea. However, this only applies to a direct object. For the subject, there is no distinction between definiteness or indefiniteness. So the sentence çay lezzetli can mean tea is delicious or the tea is delicious. Only the context will determine whether this sentence is about tea in general or about some specific tea. Turkish uses a wide variety of suffixes to mark things that in English would be indicated with extra words. This is known as agglutination. Agglutination occurs to varying extents on most types of words, but is particularly common on nouns and verbs. Nouns can take suffixes that indicate possession, my, your, our. Case, which include cases indicating movement to and from, and location. And also a copula, to indicate what someone is. I am, you are, he or she is. Several of these suffixes can be added to the same word to create one long word that is a complete sentence on its own. For example, if we start with the basic word ev, which means house, we can add a possessive to make eviniz, your house, then the locative case to make evinizde, at your house, and then finally a copula to make evinizdeyim, I am at your house. This one word is a complete sentence on its own. Note that the order of the suffixes is the opposite of the English word order. While it's not a definite rule that Turkish suffixes occur in the opposite order to the English words, it is a good general guideline. In addition to marking tense and subject, as we've already seen, verbs can take a wide variety of other suffixes, indicating many things, such as negation, ability or inability, cause, voice, and many other things. There are also suffixes that can change nouns into verbs and vice versa, and combining these together we can make some really long words. Let's take a look at one of these. Czechoslovakia lulasztırma deklarımızdanmışsınız. This is often cited as one of the longest words in Turkish, and it means, you are apparently one of ours whom we were unable to make Czechoslovakian. Of course, there's no hard limit on how long a word can be made, and we could add even more suffixes to this word to make it even longer. However, this is a fairly extreme example, and words this long are very rare. They're mostly used as jokes or just for the sake of making long words. But shorter examples like Evan is deyim that we saw before are very common and used all the time. You may be asking, how do we know this is really one long word and not just a lot of short ones? The answer is, we know it is one word because of vowel harmony. Vowel harmony is a process where vowels in affixes change to become more similar to the vowels in the words that they are added to. If vowel harmony applies, then we know something is an affix, and if it does not apply, then we know it is a separate word. Vowel harmony is found in many languages around the world, and it's particularly common in agglutinating languages. The exact details of how the vowels change vary between different languages. Turkish features two types of vowel harmony: front-back harmony and rounding harmony. First, front-back harmony. For this, we'll bring back our vowel chart from before. As you can see, the 8 vowels of Turkish can be divided into 4 front vowels and 4 back vowels. If the final vowel in a word is a front vowel, then any suffixes added to it must contain front vowels as well. If the last vowel is a back vowel, then any suffixes added must contain back vowels. For suffixes containing the low vowels a or e, this is the only type of harmony that applies. This gives all of these suffixes 2 forms, front and back, so this is called two-way harmony. An example of a suffix taking two-way harmony is the plural marker. It takes the form ler after front vowels and lar after back vowels. So for example, köpekler, günler, but ağaçlar, çocuklar. For suffixes containing high vowels, i, ü, u, front-back harmony applies just like it does for low vowels, but there is an extra rule of rounding harmony. The unrounded vowels e and are used after other unrounded vowels, and the rounded vowels ü and u are used after rounded vowels. This gives each of these suffixes 4 distinct forms: front unrounded, front rounded, back unrounded, and back rounded. So this is called 4-way harmony. For example, the copula meaning I am can take the form im, as in İngilizim, as in Türküm, as in Amerikanum, or as in Japonum. You may have noticed that vowel harmony does not affect the low rounded vowels and o. There are no suffixes containing the vowel while the vowel o occurs only in the suffix ior, where it remains the same regardless of which vowel comes before it. However, the e part undergoes normal 4-way harmony as we would expect for a high vowel. Because vowel harmony is determined by the last vowel of a word, any suffixes that go after the ior suffix will harmonize with the o. Vowel harmony also does not apply to compound words. For example, the word bugün. Because gün is a distinct word in its own right and not a suffix, it does not change to harmonize. So that's my video on Turkish. I never really know how to end these videos, so I'll just end by saying I hope you found this video interesting. I hope you found it educational. I hope I've given you a bit more of an appreciation of the Turkish language. Thanks for watching.